guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Today's story, another story today. I'm cranking out a bunch of them. Sometimes there's not much going on and that I want to talk about. Other times there's a flood of things. So I may just post, 5 videos today. We'll see how it goes. Companies that are admitting they're not hiring men openly. Now, we've talked about this on the channel before, and I've pulled up things from the RAF and our military and other things, but there's a new survey that went out that shows a lot of companies, because of this equity, diversion, or diversity, include DIE, whatever that stands for. I get so upset that my logic goes out the window. But anyway, these equity boards and BlackRock and all these other companies that are buying up stock are telling these companies, hey, you need to have certain percentages of certain minorities, or we're going to ding your stock and say that you're not a good buy. And companies are going with it. And when you tell a country like ours, which is, 70% Caucasian, and then you've got other minorities sprinkled in, and then you say you have to hire 50% of everybody that is a minority, and don't even look at white men or men in general anymore, you're going to have a hard time filling those roles just because of the population characteristics. And so what happens is they end up getting, filling the role just to meet a quota rather than giving somebody that's even qualified for the job. And they've admitted in this story. So I'm going to jump to that. Before I jump into that, make sure, join me as a supporter over on betterbachelor.locals.com. On Christmas Eve, I'm going to be doing the Packy One Chip Challenge. That's a 2 million Scoville chip. I'm going to be eating that for supporters, and then we're going to do a movie night. I think for the New Year's Eve, I'm going to do Die Hard, which is a Christmas movie. I don't care if you say it is or not. And then I think I posted up what the other one is. I forget what it is off the top of my head. It's another kind of Christmas-themed movie that I haven't done before. Oh, I remember. It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So we're going to be doing those 2 movies for supporters on Christmas Eve. So make sure to come over there. If I get enough supporters, if we meet our goal, supporter goal drive, then I'll do it for everybody, members and anybody that just comes over there for free. So if we get enough supporters, I'll do it for everybody. And that way, you guys show me some love, I'll show you some love. And also, I've got a video coming out today for over there only. Tom Brady's ex-wife's already ruining his career, so make sure to become a supporter today. All right, so here's the main story. DC Inquirer, they say stunning new survey shows 52% of companies actively discriminate against white men when hiring. But later on, what's interesting is they say they also are discriminating against white women, and I don't know if I read it in this one or another one, but they're actively discriminating against men in general. And here's the problem, and I'll read it and I'll get to it, but here's the problem. You're now hiring to fill slots, not for the quality applicants, and you know what? These companies are going to suffer because of it. And also, if you find out a company is doing this, stop buying their products. Why would you, if you're me, like me as an example, why would you as a white guy give, or as a man in general, give a company that's saying we're not going to hire you because of your skin color, why would you give them any money? You got to start paying attention to this. Make these companies suffer for their isms, because this is definitely being ist, right? A new study published by Resume Builder Monday has confirmed what many Americans struggling with employment post the lockdowns have already noticed. In many roles, white men need not apply. 52% of companies use reverse discrimination, which, let me just put a pause on that, is discrimination. There's no such thing as reverse, because reverse discrimination would be like not discriminating, I would say. According to hiring managers, and 1 in 6 are told to deprioritize white men. Even worse, 95% of them believe their DEI, diversity, inclusion, and equity initiatives are improving their companies. So 95% say this is an improvement. Okay, we'll see about that. Just ask Facebook how that's going, or Netflix, or Disney, or Paramount Pictures. Just, the Marvel Universe. Let's see how that works out for them. Or Warner Brothers. The list goes on and on. I was chatting with one of my bosses the other day about potential new hire. He let slip that the executive team ultimately did not extend an offer because we didn't need another white guy. He literally said this out loud, and I was taken aback. And this was a WAPO, Washington Post reader, quoted in Carla Miller's column. The hiring manager survey says Resume Builder surveyed 1,000 hiring managers across the country in early November to find out how many believe that reverse discrimination is an issue impacting the workplace. The findings were absolutely damning. 52% believe their company practices reverse discrimination in hiring, which is, again, discrimination. 1 in 6 have been asked to deprioritize hiring white men. Now, 1 in 5 would be 20%, so 1 in 6 is probably what? 16%, 17%, something like that. 48% have been asked to prioritize diversity over qualifications, which means, okay, this person doesn't know this job. We have to pay them the same amount as everybody else because, we don't want to get nailed paying a certain race, color, creed, whatever, different. So they're just getting the job because of their skin color. That's one of the isms, if you ask me. And these companies will pay for it because you're going to get people that are not qualified, not up to the task. And it's to be honest, it's one of the reasons why I left my last company. They asked me to do a lot of things. But one of the things that they started doing there is the people that weren't qualified but were Latino, Asian, Black, whatever, they'd hire them and they weren't qualified. And then, other people like myself and other engineers that were qualified of many different backgrounds, shall we say, those engineers had to take their time off of doing their job to teach the new people. And when the new people couldn't get it right, when they couldn't get it right because they weren't qualified, what would happen is we started losing our days from home. We used to be able to work X amount of hours from home. 4 days out of 5, we could work from home, and we only drove into the office 1 day a week for meetings and making sure everything was good. But these new employees weren't cutting it, and they couldn't get the training at home. So not only did they have to come into the office, but everybody that previously was told they could work from home, they had to come in so they could babysit and watch and help these other employees that weren't qualified. And not all of the unqualified applicants were minorities. Many of the qualified that we had were minorities. Some of the new hires were not, but they were women, or they were just hiring people that weren't qualified. Let me just put it at that. And it doesn't have anything to do with the tone of your skin. It just has to do with, are you qualified or not? And so what happened is the qualified people suffered and the unqualified people suffered. The qualified people left because they got tired of it. And they said, I'm not even doing my job anymore. Now I'm trying to catch up on all my work and training new people, but I'm not getting paid the extra money to babysit a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing. And the qualified people know they can get a job somewhere else. So they left. And what did it leave? All the unqualified people. And guess what happens? You can't let them go. Why? Because if you fire them because they're unqualified, they're going to call you ist or phobe or something else, and then you're going to get in trouble. So you end up filling your company, and then all the qualified people leave, and then you're desperate. Then you hire anybody to fill the slots, and now you've got a bunch of unqualified people, that are basically your company. Good luck to you. I'm just telling you. They say 53% believe their job will be in danger if they don't hire enough diverse employees. 70% believe their company has DIE initiatives for appearance's sake. Hey, you're going to fill your roles for appearance's sake, you're going to pay the price. Surprisingly, the Resume Builder survey found that the discrimination wasn't limited exclusively to white men either. White women were also discriminated against. They noted that 16% of hiring managers surveyed said they were told to deprioritize white men during candidate evaluation. In addition, 14% were also told to deprioritize white women. Well, guess what, ladies? This is what you wanted. This is the way you keep voting. This is what you keep supporting. This is what you keep cheering on. Now it's going to affect you too. Congratulations. While the efforts to overturn inequality in hiring diverse populations continues to evolve, companies need to consider all aspects and the effects of these practices on their entire population and move carefully and thoughtfully, career expert Stacy Holler told Resume Builder. They say the war upon the traditional American family continues. In a new poll, 16% of hiring managers were told they were to stop hiring white men, and 14% were told to deprioritize hiring white women. And that's from Families Against. From Twitter. They posted this, yesterday or the day before? Yesterday. According to the Epoch Times, in November of 2021, reports revealed that State Street Global Advisors, one of the most prominent investment firms in the world, had to seek permission to hire white men. The firm openly plans to hire 3 times the number of Black, Asian, and other minority staff into senior roles within the next business year. Reportedly, if executives fail to meet this target, their bonuses will be affected. Now, let me say something. I think it's great if you say, hey, you know what? We need, if everybody's qualified, hey, it's okay to say, you know something, let's make sure we've got a fair balance of people here if everyone's qualified. I have no problems with that. But the problem is that now they're getting an overrepresentation of minorities, which again is kind of, well, that's bigotry 101. And on top of this, they're taking people that are unqualified over qualified. This is one of the reasons why I tell you guys today is probably, if you're just getting out into the world or you're in this corporate world here, it may be the time to say, you know what, I'm going to look into the trades. I'm going to look into blue collar work because you know something, blue collar doesn't mess with this stuff. They really don't. And if you don't believe me, just go to a construction site, many of them around the world, or excuse me, many of them around the United States. And what do you see? Primarily, you see Latinos. Why? Yeah, because they're not educated enough, or they don't speak English well enough, or they're working class men that don't get into the higher echelon of the white collar world, and so they work the manual labor jobs. But you know something? They also save their money, and they may accept less money. I don't know. I haven't been in the construction world, but they will do the labor, and they're willing to work hard, and they're willing to sacrifice so that they can have a better life here in the United States. Now, of course, they should be here legally, but you know it is what it is, and that's a whole nother topic for another day. But if you're going to become a trucker or a welder or whatever, they're not going to look at you the same way, because those companies are not, you know, those are small, usually locally owned companies, and they're more worried about, can you do the work, can you get it done? And a lot of the trades pay really well, and you get to avoid this stuff. It's why if things ended on YouTube, I wouldn't be going back to the corporate world, the white collar computer engineering stuff, because I'd be running into this. More than likely, I'd just try to find a really good, stable, like apprenticeship or something that maybe I could learn in a couple of years and then go back to work. It'd be tough at my age, but I'd still probably do that instead of going back to the corporate world. They say while Senate Street Global will still hire white men, Epoch Times wrote, hiring managers are now required to prove that hiring panels with mandatory women and minority members also interviewed female and minority candidates. This is now front and central for State Street. On every senior executive scorecard, Jess McNichols, State Street Global's head of diversity, inclusion, and corporate citizenship, told a reporter from the Sunday Times, it's only going to be DIE for me. I'm not doing this DEI stuff. We're going to spell it what it is, because it will absolutely kill capitalism, companies, society, and everything else. They say all of our leaders have to demonstrate at their annual appraisals what they have done to improve female representation and the number of colleagues from ethnic minority backgrounds. So they do know that it is discrimination. But of course, when you ask them, is this improving things? They're not going to say no, even if it doesn't. Why? Because then you get in trouble. You can't talk about that stuff. So of course they're going to say it improves it. But how can it be improving the company when you're hiring people based on their characteristics versus their qualifications, like they said earlier in the article? So I thought I would cover over this one, that guys, the world is kind of frowning upon us right now. These are the hard times. And you know what? Back in my ancestry, I had people that were Scottish and Irish, and I had Sicilian and Italian, like from my family tree. And I mean, if you look at how the Irish were treated in New York, for example, and the Irish in digging the Erie Canal, I mean, they were treated very poorly. I mean, you could almost say they were like a slave class back then. And these were white people, and they were Irish. Look how Italians were treated in New York for a long period of time. And now today, these people are considered to be Caucasian or white or whatever. This kind of stuff has been around for a long time. So we're not the first to feel the brunt of this. We're not the first to go through this. It's not time to, say, oh, the system's against me and I'll never succeed. It may be against you. You can still succeed. You're just going to have to look at alternative options. That's all there is to it, because we certainly are not going to be changing any of these corporate executives or BlackRock or Vanguard, the new world order that's coming. We're not going to be changing their minds. What you can do is vote with your dollar. What you can do is buy locally. What you can do is support smaller mom and pop shops that are not involved in any of this stuff, and maybe work for smaller companies. It might be just the way to go. And you know something? Maybe that's smarter nowadays. I mean, you look at Twitter; they're laying off a ton of people. Meta, Facebook, they're laying off 11,000 people. Maybe the safest thing is just, if you are going to be in the white collar world, look for something smaller and local. You may get paid a little less, but you may end up having better job security. It just might be something to consider. All right, guys, join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com today. We got lots of fun stuff going on, and we'll see you next time.